Welcome to the Copenhagen Learning Designs podcast, where we explore the fascinating world of cross-cultural competency, inclusion and diversity, onboarding, work processes, education and learning design. Join us as we discuss and dissect these topics, offering insights and inspiration to create truly transformative learning experiences. In this episode, diversity and inclusion have become critical components of modern organizations. Embracing diversity not only fosters a more inclusive and equitable workplace, but also brings numerous benefits such as enhanced creativity, innovation, and problem-solving capabilities. Inclusive organizations that value diversity are more likely to attract and retain top talent, improve employee engagement and satisfaction, and ultimately achieve better business outcomes. Research has consistently shown that diverse teams and inclusive cultures lead to increased productivity, improved decision-making, and a broader range of perspectives. Understanding the organization's vision for diversity and inclusion. To effectively navigate an organization's vision for diversity and inclusion, it is essential to have a clear understanding of what that vision entails. The organization's vision should go beyond mere compliance with legal requirements and strive for a culture that embraces diversity and inclusion at its core. This vision should be reflected in the organization's mission statement, values, and overall strategic goals. By aligning the vision with these foundational elements, organizations can ensure that diversity and inclusion initiatives are integrated into every aspect of their operations. Challenges in implementing diversity and inclusion initiatives. Implementing diversity and inclusion initiatives is not without its challenges. One common challenge is resistance from those who may feel threatened by the changes or believe that diversity initiatives are unnecessary. Overcoming this resistance requires effective communication, education, and a commitment from organizational leaders to address concerns and misconceptions. Additionally, organizations may struggle with unconscious bias, which can hinder the recruitment, retention, and advancement of diverse talent. Overcoming these challenges requires proactive measures such as bias training, diverse candidate slates, and inclusive talent management practices. Another significant challenge is the lack of adequate resources and support for diversity and inclusion efforts. Organizations must allocate sufficient budget, time, and personnel to drive meaningful change. Without these resources, diversity and inclusion initiatives may be seen as superficial or tokenistic, undermining their effectiveness and impact. It is crucial for organizations to invest in comprehensive diversity and inclusion strategies that address both systemic issues and individual biases. Strategies for aligning the organization's vision with practical implementation. To bridge the gap between theory and practice, organizations must develop strategies that align the vision for diversity and inclusion with practical implementation. One key strategy is to establish clear goals and metrics that reflect the organization's commitment to diversity and inclusion. These goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, SMART. By setting concrete targets, organizations can track progress, hold themselves accountable, and ensure that diversity and inclusion efforts are integrated into performance evaluations and business planning processes. Another strategy is to create diverse and inclusive leadership teams. Leaders play a crucial role in shaping organizational culture and driving change. By ensuring that leadership positions are filled by individuals who value diversity and inclusion, organizations can set an example and create a ripple effect throughout the entire organization. Additionally, leaders should actively seek diverse perspectives, solicit employee feedback, and create opportunities for underrepresented groups to contribute and thrive. Navigating resistance and overcoming barriers to diversity and inclusion. Resistance and barriers to diversity and inclusion initiatives are inevitable, but with the right approach, they can be navigated and overcome. One effective strategy is to foster open dialogue and create safe spaces for honest conversations about diversity and inclusion. By encouraging employees to share their experiences, concerns, and ideas, organizations can address misconceptions, build empathy, and generate buy-in from all levels of the organization. Organizations should also invest in training programs that raise awareness about unconscious bias and provide employees with the tools to challenge their own biases and prejudices. By promoting self-reflection and empathy, organizations can create a culture that values diversity and promotes inclusion. Best practices for fostering a diverse and inclusive workplace culture. Fostering a diverse and inclusive workplace culture requires ongoing effort and commitment. Here are some best practices to consider. Leadership commitment. Leaders should publicly champion diversity and inclusion, hold themselves accountable, and lead by example. Inclusive policies and practices. Organizations should review and update policies, procedures, and practices to ensure they are inclusive and free from bias. Diverse recruitment and retention. Implement strategies to attract and retain diverse talent, such as using diverse candidate slates, conducting inclusive interviews, and providing equal opportunities for growth and advancement. Employee resource groups. Establish employee resource groups that provide support, networking, and development opportunities for underrepresented groups. Ongoing education and training. Offer regular training programs to raise awareness about diversity and inclusion, address unconscious bias, and promote inclusive behaviors. Case studies of organizations successfully implementing diversity and inclusion initiatives. To inspire and guide organizations on their diversity and inclusion journey, it is helpful to examine case studies of successful implementations. One example is Salesforce, a global technology company that has made diversity and inclusion a strategic priority. Through initiatives such as equal pay assessments, unconscious bias training, and employee resource groups, Salesforce has created a culture that celebrates diversity and fosters inclusion. As a result, the company has been recognized as a leader in diversity and inclusion, attracting top talent and driving business success. Resources and tools for supporting diversity and inclusion efforts. Organizations embarking on their diversity and inclusion journey can leverage a range of resources and tools to support their efforts. Here are a few examples. Diversity and inclusion training programs. Many organizations offer training programs focused on unconscious bias, inclusive leadership, and creating inclusive work environments. Employee resource groups. Online platforms and communities provide resources, networking opportunities, and best practices for employee resource groups. Diversity and inclusion consultants. Hiring external consultants can provide expertise, guidance, and tailored solutions to specific organizational challenges. Industry associations and networks. Joining industry-specific diversity and inclusion networks can provide access to best practices and opportunities for collaboration. Research and publications. Stay up to date with the latest research, articles, and publications on diversity and inclusion to gain insights and ideas for implementation. Conclusion: moving from theory to practice in achieving diversity and inclusion goals. Achieving diversity and inclusion goals requires a commitment from all levels of an organization. By understanding the importance of diversity and inclusion, aligning the organization's vision with practical implementation, navigating resistance, and implementing best practices, organizations can create a workplace culture that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusion, and unlocks the full potential of their workforce. By measuring the impact of diversity and inclusion initiatives, learning from successful case studies, and leveraging available resources and tools, organizations can continually improve and drive positive change. Together, we can move from theory to practice and create a more equitable and inclusive future for all. Thank you for joining us on the Copenhagen Learning Designs podcast. To continue your learning journey, we invite you to explore our wide range of educational resources available. From ebooks on inclusion and diversity, onboarding and workplace dynamics to leadership and entrepreneurship. There's something for everyone. Take action now and unlock the power of knowledge by searching for Copenhagen Learning Design on Amazon.com. Don't miss out on the opportunity to enhance your skills and drive personal and professional success.